Hello, I'm Zach the Movie Fan. Welcome back to Remake Hell. And this is a special edition of Remake Hell because this is the first time I am fulfilling a request that was given to me to review this. And the person who requested this, the Sepsis, I hope you enjoyed this video because I'm going to be honest. This movie was a fucking pain to get through. The Cube, 2021, is a Japanese horror film and is a remake of the 1997 sci-fi horror hidden gem of the same name. The Cube 2021 pretty much tells the same premise as the original. A group of people wake up inside this giant cube thing, each connected to a bunch of interconnected rooms, and they try to traverse the rooms in order to find an exit out of the cube. But they have to be careful as there are plenty of rooms that are filled to the brim with deadly booby traps. Okay, so before I give my thoughts on this remake, I should give my thoughts on the original. Because unlike the other films I've reviewed on Remake Hell, I actually had no real familiarity with the Cube, the original, whatsoever. As such, I did watch the original before diving into this remake. And if you want to know my thoughts on the original, I think the original is fine for what it is. The set design of the original is certainly pretty cool, especially when you consider the film didn't really have, like, the biggest budget, at least not to my knowledge. The acting in the original is good. A lot of the actors did a good job with what they were given. The practical effects and makeup were really cool as well, and the traps were legitimately frightening because of how practical and dangerous they looked. There's this one trap in the original involving acid, another involving fire, another involving, like, spikes that'll activate if you make a single sound. The characters in the original are hit or miss. Some characters I really liked, like Levin I really liked. Worth I actually grew to really like towards the end. While others I felt were bland at best and problematic at worst. I didn't really care for Quentin. I get he's supposed to be like a guy who goes psycho towards the end, but it wasn't really done in a very interesting way, in my opinion. There's this escape artist guy who's really just there to die. This doctor character that really doesn't contribute a lot. And Kazan. So Kazan is an autistic person. And speaking from someone who's autistic myself, I can say that this movie's depiction of autism was uncomfortable. I get it was 1997, times were different, but that really doesn't change the fact that it feels uncomfortable to watch as an autistic person today. I could go on a whole rant about, like, films that fuck up writing autistic people, so I'm just gonna say this. If you have no experience with an autistic person or have no idea how an autistic person acts, and you're not going to go through the research of understanding how an autistic person acts, maybe don't write an autistic character. Just saying. I mean, like, if you're going to write about something that you don't have much information on, at least make yourself well-versed on it, please. Outside of that, though, the original The Cube is not a bad film. Far from it. In fact, I can definitely see how it even influenced some later popular horror films, like the Saw movies or the Escape Room films. It's not a bad film. Not a masterpiece, but pretty damn good for what it is. I give it a C+. If you're interested in some interesting 90s sci-fi with some good gore, you might want to check this one out. Now let's talk about the remake. This remake I at least thought was going to be a bit interesting because it's a Japanese remake. And a funny story about me. Back when I was in middle school and high school, I became absolutely obsessed with Japanese media. Ever since I saw this masterpiece right here, Cowboy Bebop, when I was in middle school, I was obsessed with Japanese media in general. I checked out anime. I checked out Japanese ghost hunting shows, kind of basically Ghost Adventure knockoffs. I checked out some live action adaptations of Japanese anime, like the first Rurouni Kenshin film, and the Bleach live action movie. And I've even dipped my toe into the J-horror genre, checking out a lot of J-horror darlings like Ichi the Killer, Ringu, Ju-on the Grudge, Dark Waters, and so forth. My point is, I'm a sucker for Japanese media because even when it's not good, it's at least very interesting. So I was at least hoping that the remake of The Cube would have some of that batshit insanity that Japanese media is known for. Nope. This is shit. And not only is it shit, it's boring. That's actually the reason why it took me so long to get to this, because I had to force myself through this piece of shit, because it is so fucking boring. I'm not joking. If you've seen the original film, you've seen this movie. It's the exact same setup. Only with flatter characters, and now the traps are fucking ridiculous. Yeah. I honestly thought I had seen pointless remakes when I sat through the remakes of The Hitcher and Psycho, but no, this movie might give those two a run for its money. Like, those films at least have had a couple interesting things in it. The remake of Psycho was a pointless waste of time, but at least Viggo Mortensen was good as Sam Loomis. Not Dr. Sam Loomis, different franchise. And Julianne Moore was a good choice for Lila. The remake of The Hitcher was garbage, but at least had that fun car chase scene that was played to closer by Nine Inch Nails. This movie has fucking none of that. There's like only a couple interesting stuff in it, and that's it. Outside of that, it plays out almost exactly like the original, but so fucking boring. There's only two interesting things that happen in this movie. One is, there's this one character he's like the only character in the film that has an arc, where, his brother committed suicide, and he feels regret for not being able to save his brother. And so his journey throughout this film isn't just about trying to escape the cube, it's more trying to save the teenage kid in the film who was like 13. It wasn't like great, but it was at least some decent character development. The movie also does have this really cool twist at the end, which I will admit I did not see coming and I really liked. And I am going to spoil right here because, dude, don't bother. Don't fucking watch this shit. I watched it for free on Tubi and I feel like I want my fucking money back. Don't watch this, okay? Alright, so, the ending reveals that the only female of the group, the only woman of the group, turns out she was in on it the whole time. Yeah, I guess she's like a robot that, whose purpose is to record people's progress in the cube. Who makes it out alive and who dies. The movie literally starts with her the same way we're introduced to her in the beginning, with her coming across a group of new people and pretending to not know what's going on. It's not gonna lie, a twist I didn't see coming. and actually does make a lot of sense. She doesn't really do a lot throughout the movie, like, in general. She kind of feels more like an observer than somebody who's actively involved. At first I thought it was just because the writers didn't know what the fuck to do with her character, but that reveal actually did make a lot of sense. It actually was a really cool reveal, and actually kind of reminded me of that reveal at the end of Saw 2, where Amanda was revealed to be working with Jigsaw. Spoilers for Saw 2. Except, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think this film does that kind of twist better. Because, like, you see, you could easily tell that Amanda was working for Jigsaw throughout the second film. Why else would she be back there again? So the twist in this actually does work a lot better, in my honest opinion. Like, I would much rather pick Saw 2 over this any day. At least Saw 2 is interesting. Outside of those things, this movie is fucking awful. It is so boring. Like, again, it plays out exactly like the original. Like, the only change is that the characters are so much flatter. And the thing is, the characters in the original weren't that great either, but I at least remembered them, at least what they did before they were in the cube. One was a doctor, another was a mathematician's student, another was an autistic person. There was Worth, who was involved in the outer creation of the cube. There was Quentin, who was a police officer. Like, and that's what made the cast in the original interesting. It felt like each of them were specifically selected for their talents and kind of set in this maze to kind of figure out how they would get out of it. None of that is in this remake. All the characters are so flat, barely given any development. I can barely remember what the fuck these people do. I mean, the acting for them in the remake isn't awful. They do the best with the material they're given, but, like, their characters are so flat and boring and uninteresting. It's like, why the fuck should I care if any of these people make it out alive? Because you give me nothing to make me want to see them get out alive. They're all as interesting as rice cake on a paper clip. And again, I was just thinking back to the original, how the characters in that film, not all of them, but some of them I wanted to make it out, because I really liked Levin, especially towards the end of the film. I really liked Worth, especially towards the end of the film. Like, they even did something interesting with Kazan's character. He was still an autistic stereotype, but the direction they went with him in the end was at least somewhat kind of cool. But I mean, there was at least something, but here there's nothing. None of these characters are interesting, none of them are likable. Why should I give a shit about any of them? What doesn't help either is that this piece of shit actually reveals shit way too early. Spoilers for the original The Cube, but... So basically, like, an hour in, the characters already find out about the prime numbers, and they find out that, like, the numbers are actually coordinates, meaning that if they find the right coordinates, they can find a way out of the cube. The thing is, like, that in the original, that was revealed, like, in the climax. That's what kick-started the climax, but this film reveals it, like, an hour in, during the midway point. Like, it goes through these reveals so fast, like, the filmmakers are like, well, if they've seen the original, then they should already know these twists, so why bother? But, like, it feels so fucking lazy because, you know, it doesn't give you anything new to surprise you, like, at all. Like, what was the point of remaking The Cube if you were not going to do anything fucking interesting with it? Yeah. And also, like the original, one of the main characters goes crazy. The thing is, though, when they did it in the original, they at least showed believable enough build up to it. At least showed the guy's sanity declining. Like, you at least saw how he was about to crack. In this film, however, the guy going crazy comes right the fuck out of nowhere, doesn't feel in character whatsoever, and doesn't even make any sense. In the original film, Quentin went nuts because he believed that, like, some people were out to get him, and became so paranoid that he believed that he could not trust anyone. With the guy that goes nuts in the remake, it comes the fuck out of nowhere. The dude that goes nuts in this was just kind of like a terrified kid not knowing how the fuck he was going to survive. So him going nuts at random feels completely out of nowhere. I'm not joking when I said it was a genuine struggle to get through this. Like, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Fun fact about me, I have ADHD. And the reason why I bring that up is because that is what made going through this movie so fucking painful. This movie is so predictable, so boring, and so much like the original that I felt like I was waiting in, like, a dentist chair or something like that. Like, it was so fucking boring and so fucking pointless. I had to try so hard to keep myself watching it when I could watch something so much better and so much more entertaining. Like, I'm doing research for a review of the remake of The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which, fun fact, the original film and the remake are actually based on a true story, and that true story is actually very interesting. I'm going to get into that when I talk about The Town That Dreaded Sundown, but, like, you have no idea how much I would have much rather watched either version of The Town That Dreaded Sundown over this shit. I cannot emphasize how fucking boring this is. This remake was fucking pointless. Top it all off, the traps in this remake are fucking ridiculous. What made the traps in the original so frightening was that how practical they looked. Like, they looked like actual booby traps that somebody could have set up. But in the remake, they're so ridiculously over the top that it's stupid. They have like lasers in this. There's one guy that gets a cube-shaped hole through his chest. You get it? 'Cause it's called the cube? Like, the traps in this movie were fucking ridiculous. Like, they were the kind of traps that I think even Danganronpa or whatever the fuck you call it would, like, say this is too much. It was that ridiculous. But it wasn't even enough to be so bad it's good, because the pacing is so fucking torturously boring. Oh my god, this movie drove me fucking insane. What is even to say at this point? The characters are flatter than the original, the traps are ridiculous, the pacing is torturously slow, it reveals shit way too early, it is an insult to the original, and I didn't even love the original that much. I mean, I liked the original, but I didn't love it. But this piece of shit makes me want to praise it, because at least the original The Cube was an interesting film, with at least characters I gave a shit about. None of that is here. Like, you think a Japanese remake of The Cube would be a lot of fun, because I've seen Japanese horror films, and I know that Japanese horror can get batshit fucking crazy. Like, if you've seen films like The Audition, or Ichi the Killer, or Tetsuo the Iron Man, or House, the 1977 film, you know that when Japanese horror can get nuts, it can get fucking off the walls. A Japanese remake of The Cube sounds so much fun on paper, but no. Oh, fuck me, this was... Oh, no, I'm done. The remake of The Cube gets an F. Fuck this movie. Fuck it for wasting my time. Just fuck this whole... Oh, God. Oh. I'm done. So that's my review of the remake of The Cube. Have you guys seen the remake of The Cube? What did you think of it? What are your thoughts on the original? Let me know down in the comments below, and also let me know if you want to request something else. Yeah, thanks again for the request, Sepsis. I hope you liked this video. I'm sorry it's not longer, but there really is nothing to fucking talk about with this. I could have been watching something so much better. But seriously, Sepsis, thanks for the request. And again, if anybody wants to request something else, let me know down in the comments below. Outside of that, I'm tired, I'm bored, I'm going to bed. See you guys next time. Fuck me, man.